Good morning, guys. It is Monday, February 16th, 2015. I don't know why February was so hard to say. February 16th, 2015. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Hope everybody had an awesome weekend. I wanted to record this podcast last Sunday, so I am a little bit behind, but that's okay. I am keeping up with your comments on my Instagram, and I am going to use that to go off of my next few podcasts. So if you follow me on Instagram at Myleik, I have a post. You have to scroll down a little bit, and it just says like podcast. There's a ton of topics there, and I'm going to work off of that for the next little bit. But I got this via Twitter. You can also tweet me there or ask FM me. You know how it goes. But someone wanted me to talk about why discipline is greater than motivation. And I know that that seems like a really lofty, potentially boring topic, but I'm going to tell you that I really think it's good. That's why I chose it. And I'm going to take you through 5 points on how we can start working on our discipline a little bit more and knowing the difference between what's motivating us and how to have some actual discipline about it. So I wrote these notes last week, so I'm going to I might be a little, you know how I get. Anyway, motivation is something that I believe is fleeting. It's everywhere. It's the quotes that you have around you. You know what I mean? Like the things that you may write out or the art pieces that you purchase. I have two that I'm looking at in my living room right now. One says, look on the bright side, and the other says, live in the moment. Those are the things that sort of motivate us, right? They are situational. Things that you see someone else accomplish something, you then feel motivated. You see something else that happens, you lose a pound or two, so now you're motivated. So these things are situational and they're everywhere. And it's the sort of why you do it. You know what I mean? It's your why. The motivation is the why, where the discipline is the what. The discipline is consistent, you know, it is not lofty and fleeting like your motivation. The discipline is the thing that you must do in order to succeed. So it's nice to be motivated, but in order to accomplish, you are going to have some discipline. It's consistent. You have to do it every day to the point that it becomes a habit. So I have down here that it's habitual. And so some of the habits that I have, I've shared these over and over again, but I'll share them again today, is that waking up early. When you feel your body wake up the first time, get up. You know, it's a great exercise. Does that mean that I do it every time? I don't do it every time anymore. But there was a time when I had myself so disciplined that I would always get up. That sometimes had me up at 4 a.m., had me up at 6 a.m., because I had a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish. And so when you feel that first nudge, the first time you open your eyes, you look over at the clock, just get up, you know, because you're going to just give those hours away. Your body has already been blessed to be waking up. And so go ahead and get up and do something for yourself, because I tell these to my employees. I say, you know, this is how you spend your life. You spend your life, you know, you have to be to work at 9 o'clock. We all go to work for 9 o'clock. It's 8:37. I'll be to work soon. They have to be to work at 9 o'clock. So you sleep and you ho-hum until it's time for you to get dressed to come to work. And then you get off work and then you get home, kick off your shoes, probably turn on the TV, maybe make a bite to eat, and you crawl in the bed. And you don't really do anything for yourself. And so, you know, I encourage everyone to take advantage and sort of sandwich those hours on your workday with things for you. Reading, researching. What's a discipline that you want to develop? If you want to read more, set your alarm for an hour earlier so that you're reading more. If you want to get up and journal, if you want to get up, you know, give yourself an extra 20 minutes to do a list. And I talk about my sort of journaling and listing system in my new journal that I have coming out. It should ship in about 3 weeks, 3 weeks to a month, roughly. That's why I have April as the ship date, but it'll probably be around mid-March. If you are interested in that and interested in learning my method, it's at mytaughtyou.com. And I've used that sort of discipline system for years. And discipline is rare. Discipline is not something that everybody has. It's not something that everybody is used to practicing. But I am going to go over how to be disciplined, some routines that you can do, and how I believe motivation and discipline work together. I'm getting my sip of coffee if you'll give me a second. Okay, how to be disciplined. I think the first thing you have to do, and if you follow me, you know I talk about this ad nauseum, eliminate excuses. Eliminate your excuses. There are so many things that reasons why you don't do what you're supposed to be doing. Reasons why you're not going to the gym. Reasons why you haven't completed something that you have on your list. You can make up all the reasons in the world. And I even say that there are such thing as valid excuses. So I tell my girls that work with me, there are valid excuses. Like, you are late because of this, but at the end of the day, you're still late. And so you have to learn how to get around making excuses for why you haven't done anything, because that's really all they are. You're either going to do it or you don't. All the reasons why you couldn't do it or didn't do it or just BS, and it's not done. So get rid of your excuses. And if you want to practice something, think about either something between today or yesterday that you were supposed to do that you didn't do, and you told somebody, I'm running late because of this. I dropped my this, so I'm that. Think about that and stop making excuses. When you get ready to make an excuse, like, put yourself on blast, because I will do this to myself. I'm like, I'm making excuses, or this is a poor excuse, and then, because if you get ready to put yourself on blast, you will find that you don't even want to say it, because you're just like, oh my God, I sound so lame. That's what I'm saying. So that's why sometimes when people call me out and I'm just like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Either I forgot or I just got too tired. But I'm not going to sit here and BS you, because then I have to BS myself, and I'm definitely not I'm not up for that. You want to start having some routines or rituals, some things that you're going to just stick with. So some of my routines are, I go to the gym 3 days a week. That's my routine. I know I'm doing it even when I don't want to do it. Today, I was going to do it, but I said, you know what, I'm going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. But I know that I'm going. And so those kinds of things will start to help you get things done. Pick something that you're going to do every day. I'm going to walk to the corner every day after work. I'm going to open up a book every day when I get home from work. I'm going to read for 15 minutes a day. Log that into your calendar. Log some rituals, some routines, some different things that you're going to do. And so some of my rituals are, when I get to work, I light a candle, I get my coffee, and that's my ritual. And that's how I know. That kind of sends the signal to my brain that I'm working. And I have a book on habits. I Instagrammed it and I'm reading it, but it talks about how just sort of rituals and habits train our minds to success. And so if you want to know that book, either tweet me or ask FM me, and I'll make sure I have that up, or just go to my Instagram, Myleik Bookshare hashtag, and I'm sure that it's on there. And then something else about how to be disciplined, you have to invest in it. So you ever notice when you spend money on things, you tend to be more into it when you spent money. When you hire a trainer, it's why trainers tend to work, because we can go to the gym and do all the things ourselves, but it's something about making that investment that makes us more committed. When we pay for classes or we pay for seminars, make some investments into yourself and your life and figure out how to be disciplined. And I was just saying this to my friend. I said, every year I try to find at least one or two conferences that are going to train me, and that I'm going to, put myself in some rooms, people that I wouldn't typically meet, because I work in the girl hair business. I work with women. It's rare that the way that I continue to attempt to have myself exposed to new technology is by going to these conferences, and I spend money on these conferences. And so, to be completely transparent with you, I have the attention span of a gnat. It is very difficult for me to sit through hours and hours and hours of talking. I will be completely transparent with you. It is hard. My friend just teased me about it over the weekend. But once I've spent $1,700, either when you get like the $1,000 registration fee, you think about the hotel room, you think about the flight. Once I've spent almost 2 G's, guess who's tuning in? Me, So once I've made the investment, I'm a lot more disciplined in the things that I'm attending, being on time to these things, and actually paying attention. And I've actually gotten some really great gems. So any of the current technology that you see that I may be using that you're like, wow, that's interesting, these are all things that I have gleaned from conferences that I have invested in. Number 3 is how discipline and motivation works together. Motivation needs, what do I have? Motivation needs others or things, and discipline needs you. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Motivation is depending on the outside world. You can't put all of your everything in these quotes, in this, these books that we're reading, the people that we admire. That's all nice. But really, it's going to come down to you. You have to discipline yourself and understand that discipline is not designed to feel good, okay? Initially. Um, Discipline is not one of those things that has immediate gratification, not at all. It's that thing that you have to do and do and do for a very long time before you can see the rewards. But the rewards are grand, trust me. So the thing that I want you to understand about discipline, and when we're thinking about, being motivated and disciplined, is that it doesn't feel good because we don't see the results at first, and it typically hurts us. It challenges our thoughts and opinions of ourselves because we have forced ourselves to believe that we can't do some of these things. And I'm going to my Twitter because I retweeted something from Tim Ferriss last night, and he said, "You think you're fatigued, therefore you can't exercise. In fact, you choose not to move, therefore you feel fatigued." And I think that that's so true. And Tim Ferriss wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. I follow him on Twitter. Really great tips. But it's so true. It's a mental thing first. And so it's really beating down these blocks in our head. Start small. And motivation is lofty. It puts a smile on your face. It makes you feel good. It's so much easier to repost a quote than it is to turn the TV off on the night of Love and Hip Hop, or what is it, Scandal, or whatever. Save those things and pick times. Like, if I were going to be into television shows, I would record them and then pick a time. I would schedule my TV time. Maybe I do TV on like Saturdays and I would do it early from like 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. to noon, or that's a lot of time, maybe 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I bet you if you schedule getting up and watching TV at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, it'll change your viewpoint. How important is this really to you? You know what I mean? How valuable is your time to you? It's like you need the motivation, but you need you more than you need the motivation every single day. Number 4 is say no to things. So no is a complete sentence, and you have to say no to things. And so I have to ask myself, what are the benefits of this activity? What are the benefits of this action? So I am bombarded daily with phone calls, text messages. Now, mind you, there are several ways to get in touch with me. You can call my cell phone, you can call my office, you can call my assistant, and you can call about 2 or 3 other people that can get in touch with me. But on a daily basis, there are 3 direct ways to call me. You can text me, you can text my assistant, email me, email my assistant, email anybody on my team and CC me, and I'm pretty much plugged in. And so I have to remember, what is the benefit of this activity? Is this conversation going to benefit? Is it going to benefit me? And does this mean that everything that I do has to benefit me? Absolutely not. But for me, it comes down to my time, and if I'm going to be disciplined, I have to really stay ordered and organized with what I'm doing. So I can't always have every single conversation. I have to delegate that off. Sometimes sometimes people will call and ask, like, what's the mailing address? Where do I send my samples? How do they have to be packaged? That's a call that there are like 4 or 5 other people on my team that can intercept that, and I don't need to be doing that. So I'm always focused on that. Arguments, you know what I mean? It's like, what is the end goal? Now, arguments for me don't bother me. Like I think conflict is natural. So disagreements, it is so common and natural for people to disagree, and I think there have been times on my social media that people have disagreed with me, and they don't understand that when I am talking to them about the disagreement, what I'm seeking, I'm not angry. I'm opinionated for sure, but I'm not angry, and I'm always open to um, various opinions or various thought processes because I don't know everything and I'm curious. And so sometimes I will engage in a argument or in a dialogue, conflicted dialogue, because I'm in an attempt to learn. The goal is to learn. So that's what I'll ask myself. if I know that there's not going to be anything that I'm going to learn from it, or I'm not going to grow from this, then I kind of just let it go. I ignore it. There are plenty of times people say things to me, and I know, and I do not respond because there's just nothing in it. There's nothing in it for either of us, to be honest with you. Number 5, expose your mind to positive messages, positive people. I really cannot express like how important the people around you are, And so I remember being in my 20s, I think late 20s, and I was talking to my mom, and she was like, so I was telling her about a girlfriend that I had, that I was kind of on the fence with, sort of phasing her out of my life. And my mom's just like, so do you mean to tell me that you feel like you can only be friends with people who are succeeding, or people who are on this path that you're on, or something like that, people who are positive? And I was just like, yes, I am. Because if I'm friends with someone and they didn't really do anything to me, it was how they allow other people to treat them. And it's just like, I just didn't see the value in a friendship with someone who constantly allows people to mistreat them. And so it's not like they were doing anything to me. And I had tried to be their friend and step in, but like, I'm very I am very conscious. Like, I'm super serious about the people that I have around me. I've been teased about it. People can say whatever they want, but I have to have positive people, and not like I need my butt kiss people, because my friends or the people that are around me are not like that. Like, I get called on my ish all the time, but they're positive in their lives. They're positive in what they're doing. They're sharing positive message. They're sharing articles, and we're all pushing along together. And so it is important. Like, if you're thinking about what is the first thing that I can do to be disciplined, it's like, think about the kind of people you have around you. And if these are people that you can consider accountability partners, they're going to hold you accountable, and you respect and value them. You value their opinions. Another thing you want to do is imagine yourself as a disciplined person. What do you think your life would be like if you were actually disciplined? What do you see for yourself? Where do you see yourself living? What kind of items do you see yourself having? What kind of lifestyle do you see? Do you want to have this lifestyle where you can travel whenever you want to? You can pretty much stay whatever you want to. You want the freedoms. You want the financial freedom. That's the thing that I love most about being financially secure, is the freedom that you get from that. So imagine yourself, imagine the lifestyle, and use that to motivate yourself. And set small goals, guys. Like, I think that's always ends up being the toughest thing. If you have a vision of having an online store or an e-boutique, where can you start small? Start small, selling things out of the trunk of your car to see how people respond to what you're making. Start selling it in your office. If you do something, bring it in, sell it to your office, sell it to your girlfriend, sell it to your book club, sell it at the gym. Check the response and grow from there. So you just don't have to open an e-boutique today. You get up to this point. You don't have to open a brick and mortar store today. You build up to these points. So start with some small goals. That's it for me. I'm going to try to do another podcast this week. I'm going to try to do 3 this week. So this could be 1. I'm going to try to crank out 2 more this week. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you have a positive week. As always, you can ask me anything. Ask ask.fm/Myleik Teele. And I have the My Taught You site that I am working on. I think you're going to like it. The goal is to try to have it all completed and launched in April. Might be sooner, but you can get the journal there. And anything you need, shoot me a message. Talk to you later. Bye.